I'm Councillor Mary representing North Ward.
And I'm Councillor Henry Davis from the South Ward, and we're both elected council members of the City of Adelaide.
Adelaide City Talks is your window into the City of Adelaide and all the things that make our city great, and that keeps it that way.
Now, we don't always agree on everything,
And our views are our own.
but we don't hold back or skirt around the big issues.
Because this is our city,
And it's your city.
and there's a lot to talk about.
So join us for Adelaide City Talks. Welcome to another episode of Adelaide City Talks. Today, we will be discussing last night's meeting from the 12th of December, 2023. Mary is my co-host. How are you this morning? It was a pretty eventful meeting last night.
It was, but we just might disclose that these are of our own opinions and not the opinions of council. Wow, Henry, let's talk about our last meeting of the year.
Oh, it is our last meeting of the year.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that. I'm tired. I'll tell you what, it's been a long year.
Well, we're not back until the 30th of January, 2024. So 12 months has gone past. And I guess today in the paper we have that our CEO has resigned.
That's right.
Yes.
And my understanding is that she has resigned on the basis that she's looking after her elderly mother. So she might actually be moving back to the UK, I believe.
Well, that's what we were told in an email today from the Lord Mayor. Well, I just want to talk about, it's been great working with Claire.
How long have you been with her?
5 years.
5 years, wow.
So this is my 5th year on council. She wasn't CEO when I first started. She was in an executive position, and then she was a deputy CEO, and then as a acting CEO, and then as the CEO. So she's been with the City of Adelaide for 20 years. She's very much respected with the staff. So it's very sad to see her go. And I just want to say on a personal note, I have admired Claire's work. She has always been very available in regards to any questions that I have or any concerns, or if I need something clarified. I actually loved her work during the time of over COVID. We asked administration to find $20 million worth of efficiencies, and they worked, her team and everybody worked really, really hard in regards to that. So I take my hat off to her leadership during that time. So thank you, Claire, for all the work that you have done. And I think the City of Adelaide, all of City of Adelaide thanks you. And 20 years is amazing.
We wish you well.
Yes.
So the council has actually appointed Mr. Sedgman as the acting CEO. And he'll continue through on that role. But my understanding is now that we start a recruitment process to look for a new CEO for the City of Adelaide. And that process could take some time. And I think the Lord Mayor in the advertiser said that they were going to look for, Australia-wide to try and find that replacement CEO or, different applicants.
Well, I hope we don't employ the same old or the same old. I hope we find someone fresh, innovative. Oh, that word that we've been continuously using, bold.
Can we stop using the word bold? This council is nowhere near bold in anything
Bold.
it does ever.
Well, someone with a lot of energy.
This is like a font size 6 italics council. That's where we're at.
That's why I thought I'd throw that in because I know how you feel about that.
You trigger me with this word bold.
Sorry.
No, we are nowhere close to being bold.
But no, I think I really hope we do find someone fresh. I think this city really needs it. We've got a lot of things happening in the pipeline with the bus station, and we've just finished approved our strategic plan. We've added some new policies, homeless policies, or we enhanced them, and housing policies, which we enhanced. They're already in there. But there's still a lot of work to be done in this city, and this is the time that we really need to be very focused on the future and shaping the city.
Yeah. Since I've come on council, I feel like that direction hasn't been clear at all from the council about where we actually want to go, what we want to achieve in our city. I think Adelaide has a long way to go, and the strategic plan that we passed the other night off the back of, I think it was a workshop from councils about their priorities and where they want to see that go. I was really disappointed. I really don't see what this council really wants to do, and it's not like I can affect it in many ways. So it's that dominant faction who are setting the agenda for it, and I really just don't see the plan going forward over the next 4 years.
Well, let's talk about that, Henry. Like, for you as a first-time councillor for the City of Adelaide.
Yeah, I mean, look.
What do you think has been the greatest achievement that we in the past 12 months with this new council?
Probably the tagline budget repair. I think coming up with that tagline. Well, the
budget was already repaired.
Well, that spin is probably
the greatest spin ever.
Yeah, the spin around budget repair and the fact that we increased our rates by 10% was an intentional thing. I think that was probably the greatest achievement of this council.
Yeah.
But look, when I was elected to Burnside, right, I had my electorate and I had my ward, and this was McGill and Kensington Gardens, and I wanted to upgrade the footy and cricket club. I wanted to do a major overhaul to the wetlands, and then there was a major street upgrade on McGill Village. And then there was a number of small parks around the place that I really wanted to fix up. So in my ward, over about 8 years, and this is a very small suburban council with about 5,000 people in it, I actually got through about $25 million worth of upgrades or proposed upgrades to come in the chain, and I had this clear vision of what it was going to look like in my ward of McGill and Kensington Gardens. And my co-councillor and I, we worked really, really well, really hard to get that over the line. And the wetlands now are just incredible. I love taking people there. I always take my mum there to show them, what we've done, and it cleans water. It has a massive impact on the environment through the torrents. So McGill Village was a massive project, like $7 million for a small kind of ward. Now, you'd think, like, my biggest criticism is coming into the City of Adelaide, and all these people have been elected and now have control over the council. They can put in what they want, and then they can run the city how they want. They don't need you or I to do it. And I just don't see at all what they're trying to achieve, where they're going. And I think the strategic plan that was passed is a really good example of that complete lack of direction, because the strategic plan is basically copy and paste type things. It hasn't really been thought out and doesn't really at all paint a picture of where the city's going. Afterwards, it's stuff like, let's have clean streets, and climate change is really important. But that's kind of it. And when it comes to the major street upgrades, for example, you went out to community consultation. You've been asked for a report on it, and we talked about in the last podcast. But to actually summarise what the consultation of those major street upgrades were, and it's $140 million for the spending. We've cut it down to $40 million.
60 something.
It's like I think it's 40. I think it's a fraction of really? What it actually is.
I added it all up. It's a fraction less. Yeah.
And I mean, like, and that's actually what came out in the consultation. And many people were highly critical of the plan, saying it doesn't really do much.
Well, you know what really amazed me, Henry, on that strategic plan? I went up to talk about it last night, but the chamber moved so fast that it was. I actually missed it. Yeah, I missed that opportunity. But what I wanted to say is that, now I don't have it in front of me, but we only received 25 written submissions.
Yeah,
we had very poor uptake on submissions for the strategic plan, but the internet said that there was 4,000 people that hit on the button. There's 7,000 people that engaged and read it, but whatever.
I ran some Google ads once. I got 150,000 views on on Google, and I got one lead.
And so what that tells me is that people are not engaged.
No.
They're not. They're looking at it. They might go on it.
It's not inspiring.
They might look at the pretty pictures and they're not inspired and they walk away. That concerns me. And then when you read the actual consultation feedback, there were a lot of comments that where we didn't take on board.
Yeah.
It was like, oh yeah, we've done our consultation. Oh yeah, they said that, but we're doing this.
Well, and that's what I was saying. Like in the meeting, I said, you've done nothing. And like, maybe I can read a couple. It says, one of the comments says, however, I fear that many of the proposed actions will be delayed, if not strongly pushed forward by the council. Another one says, I would like to see some bold decisions, more than just planting trees and goals around population. What can we actually do to attract tourism? And there's a big long submission here, and there, not sufficient detail on specific projects. I'd like to see a focus on this issue or another issue, and none of that was really taken into account.
No.
In the strategic plan.
No. But hey, in the process of moving forward, I voted for it because I'm not. The faction has already decided that this is a fantastic strategic plan and it's a great vision, and it would do wonders for the city. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and yeah, I think it'll just be. Look, I think, truly, when it comes to leaders of communities, when it comes to leaders in our population, it takes a very particular type of person and a very particular politician to actually sense what is needed or required by a population. So, because when we go out for this consultation, often, I don't know what people are thinking on the council. Do they expect the community to just tell us everything? And really, I think it takes a very rare person to actually go and paint a vision that's big, and that is actually going to change the city. And that's why we celebrate Colonel Light so much, because he planned the whole thing out. We celebrate Colonel Light's father, who founded Penang, as I recently found out as well. Apparently there's a hobby, that you have of founding cities. And look, we'll see what happens, I think, over the next 3 years, but there really does need to be a change. This council, as it is, won't deliver anything.
Well, I can tell you my highlight.
Yeah, what's your highlight? I'm just going to sit here and just be depressed the whole time.
You just depressed me.
Yeah, sorry.
But look, we achieved a lot of things last term of council, and a lot of the policy changing that we did last term of council set up this term of council. So I am very much focused on increasing the population of the city. That is something that we do need to do. I'm very much focused on housing. I'm very much focused on establishing communities within the city. I love to see more of a, precinct viewpoint identity with north, south, east and west of the city. But, hey, I'm told that's going to happen with the city plan. Let's see.
Sure.
But what I can say that the achievement for this year would be the bus station. So the fact that we are partnering with Renew SA to be able to deliver a really great city shaping project in the city, for me, I think that is good.
Are we partnering? We just sold it.
Well, we sold them. We still have we still have the guiding principles in place. We talked about what we would like to see there. We did sell it, sure, but we in turn have created a space that someone else can deliver on.
Yeah.
Within the guiding principles that we set.
Yeah.
You don't like that?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, this is where we disagree, right?
Yeah. And I really saw that opportunity at the bus station. Look, in order to deliver these things, right? In order to for the city of Adelaide to really achieve a big outcome, they want to get 50,000 people in here. We want to double the size of it, double the congestion, double the amount of foot traffic, double the amount of stress on community facilities, on everything like that, on the number of businesses going to be here. They want to pump residential growth into the city of Adelaide. Okay, sure. If that's going to be our primary aim, to deliver that outcome for Adelaide and South Australia, and having a CBD that holds and retains our youth and holds and retains ASX listed 200 companies. Do we want the top, more companies here with headquarters from the ASX 200, right? Is that going to be our aim? Why don't we set an aim that we want 15 new headquarters by 2030? That would be a really worthy aim, because what that does is drive innovation. It brings in investment. It brings in a huge skilled workforce as well, right?
But we've done that too, though. We've done that with Perry Street.
I mean, but so we had that's what I'm saying is with the bus depot, we have the opportunity to, we need income to actually upgrade our streets, to invest in it. We need to find $100 million for street upgrades. Either we go to the state and federal government and we advocate for that, not just cut it back and give up on it.
Yeah.
Right? And in Burnside, like I was saying before, we didn't pay for the whole thing.
Yeah.
We paid for a third of it.
Yeah.
And we're proposing to pay for a third of these street upgrades of the actual outcome now. Why aren't we going to the federal and state government saying we need this for our city?
Yeah.
If little old Henry Davis from McGill and Kensington's ward can get a 2/3 contribution on these projects by having like strategic partnerships with the state and federal government, why can't the city of Adelaide, a capital city council, do that as well?
Well, I agree with you on that one. I do agree with you. I think we missed the opportunity to be able to have the state government come on board with a vision for changing our precinct streets into something amazing. And I think that we've actually, the amount of money that we're going to be spending, I really don't have much faith that we're going to see much change within the streets.
Yeah, and look, and I'm so frustrated. I mean, if you look at, I want to go back to the strategic plan and focus on one of the things, right? So our economy, right? So we want to have a strong economy. We want 50,000 people. We want businesses. Do we want ASX-listed companies here? Do we want to drive growth, right? In our strategic plan, the first objective under our economy, which is one of the 4 key pillars, is Adelaide's unique experiences and opportunities attract visitors to our city, all right? The first words from each of the different paragraphs about key actions. The first one is continue.
Oh, I know.
The second one is work or partner with. The next one is refresh. And the third word is reinforce. So we're going to continue, we're going to partner, we're going to refresh, and we're going to reinforce. All right. And I won't read the rest of it, but that type of language does not drive massive investment. What you need to do is have a complete overhaul about how the city works and have a strategic plan and actions that the council can take to actually deliver that outcome.
Fair.
But what we're doing is we're going to continue and refresh. You've got to be joking. That we're never gonna deliver on that.
Fair.
And as part of this process, I went and had a look at all the strategic plans from other key capital cities and how they do that, and particularly say Sydney. And the way that they set out, it's a 175-page document. It's a massive document.
Yes.
And it sets out in detail exactly what they're going to do and major infrastructure projects which are going to deliver on these things.
Yeah, I know. I read theirs as well. I know. I agree with you on that retrospect. But what do? We don't have we don't have a very open, collaborative council. It's kind of their way. It's set that way. That's what they aim to do, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, let's see what happens, Henry, over the next 3 years on this plan.
Can you tell I'm a bit annoyed? Oh, well.
I can tell. I can tell.
And I've had discussions with the councillors from that dominant faction talking about what, and I was criticizing, it was just behind closed doors. So I won't say who it was, but, I was saying, are you really, really, really proud of what we've done in the first? Are you really proud of the strategy? Are you really clear on what the vision is? And so when you're talking about the number of responses to the strategic plan, is anybody super excited? Is our producer here really excited about, what vision we're painting for the future?
No.
And I've done that for, he's shaking his head. But in my ward of Kensington Gardens McGill, they were excited. It was big, and I communicated. I said, this is the big thing coming to your area, right to your local precinct.
Yeah.
And there were big things for a population of 5,000. There's only 2,500 people who voted for me, but massive development. And you don't have that kind of hustle bustle, and if you don't have kind of faith in the future, and if you put Councillor Snape on the council assessment panel, it's the complete opposite of what we're trying to achieve.
That was disappointing, and I know that I sound bitter, but I just cannot believe that we put Councillor Snape on the council assessment panel and no one voted for Arman Abrahimzadeh, who has got vast, or you and I voted for him. I think Simon voted for him.
And Arman probably voted for him.
Arman voted for himself. But, he has got vast experience, and it just goes to show what deals are being done behind closed doors with each other for them to deliver, for them to actually have him on cap. And I'm sorry. Councillor Noon's argument saying for continuity, what was that?
Well, they kicked you off every committee.
Well,
so they didn't care about continuity there. So there's continuity.
I don't know what to say, Henry. It's been a very interesting year.
Meh.
I don't have much faith for the remainder of the years, but let's see if we go to a by-election. There is a court case in the.
There is. I went to that. That was very interesting.
Yeah.
There was a few councillors in the gallery.
And old ones, I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I heard. Anne Moran was there.
Martin was there.
Elvin Brooks.
But
Phil Martin was there.
So
I heard.
What was happening was that
Carmel Noon was with them all together there.
Yeah, I wasn't there when Carmel was there, but obviously, so we're looking at potentially having a by-election in the Central Ward for the City of Adelaide following a court case which is currently running in the Court of Disputed Returns. The defendants Jing Lee, but Alex Hyde is contesting that election on the basis of electoral fraud. There's been evidence that is going forward, and that's actually progressing in that case. So there's, I'm not sure when they're actually expecting a judgment, but we could very well have a by-election. And my understanding as well is that following a recent discovery by the Electoral Commissioner, they actually identified a number of votes which were incorrectly counted. So I think the margin is down to 24 now, and the Electoral Commissioner in their counting processes found an error with the way that their computers worked.
And they also found an error with the Adelaide Hills Council with the 2 wrongly elected councillors, and they had to be stood down.
Adelaide Hills, was it Adelaide Plains? I think it could have been Adelaide Plains, but yes. Anyway, yes. Well, so that court case continues. Yeah. And it could very well result in a by-election, and that will very much change the fabric of the city of Adelaide over the next 3 years. We'll see if it goes to a by-election. Depends. It depends. Well, Henry, it's been great doing the podcast with you for the last. It's been a fun year. 12 months. It's been a great year. I look forward very much like to thank Grant as well. Yes. So Grant Law from Voice It Podcast Studio has been here with his little headphones on and doing, I don't know what he's press buttons the whole time. And we do it all in one take, by the way. Yeah. Everyone should know this. It's no. I mean, cuts. Unless we're opening, in which case that is. I had to do that about 3 times. And I messed it up like 5 times in a row. Well, have a lovely Christmas, and anyone's listening, I hope you have a lovely holiday season. They're always listening. Yeah, well, I hope so. My mum's listening. Because it's the truth. Well, we try to give as much of a great. I think my ex-girlfriend said she liked the podcast the other day. Well, at least, my mum and my ex-girlfriend are listening, so, and Grant. Well, thanks, Henry, for the laughs, and see you next year.